Tonight, a lawyer speaking out about what her client allegedly experienced at a so-called crisis pregnancy center in Massachusetts. Attorney Shannon Liss Reardon accusing the Clearway clinic in Worcester of a misdiagnosis of her client's pregnancy, telling her the pregnancy was viable when really it was potentially life-threatening.
If proper medical care had been provided when she went to Clearway, the pregnancy should have been terminated right then.
Liss Reardon says it all started for her client, who has asked to remain anonymous, after a positive at-home pregnancy test. The woman searched online for a safe medical examination to quickly verify the test result. That search led her to the nearby Clearway clinic. There, they allegedly performed an ultrasound, concluding her pregnancy was healthy. But a month later, her lawyer says, the expecting mother was rushed to the ER with severe abdominal pain.
She had to have emergency traumatic surgery, which led to the loss of one of her fallopian tubes.
The woman's pregnancy was actually ectopic. Her fertilized egg grew outside of the uterus, according to the suit. It's a rare condition, only 1 to 2% of U.S. pregnancies per the CDC, but serious, even deadly if left untreated.
You can have rupture of the fallopian tube, which can cause dangerous and life-threatening internal bleeding.
And in the case of Liss Reardon's client, should have been spotted earlier if the exam was done correctly.
With appropriate training and an ultrasound that is performed correctly, there really shouldn't be any mistaking a viable intrauterine pregnancy from an ectopic pregnancy.
One of the reasons it wasn't, the case now charges, is because the Clearway clinic's central focus wasn't on the woman's health, but on ensuring she kept her pregnancy, the goal of so-called crisis pregnancy centers like this one.
They also very interestingly and concertedly focused on trying to convince her to keep her pregnancy going.
These spaces present themselves as reproductive health care providers and come up in searches like the one this woman did. But they're actually focused on stopping women from getting abortions, according to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. They've been a long-term and widespread barrier for pregnant women seeking medical information and care.
No fight, no freedom.
But the dangers are seen anew now after the Supreme Court did away with abortion protections last year. There are around 4,000 operations like Clearway running across the U.S. per Planned Parenthood. In a statement to NBC News, Clearway's executive director, Jill Jorgensen, said in part, "We cannot speak as to any individual's medical claims or history due to HIPAA regulations. Clearway Clinic has served more than 10,000 women and their families for the past 22 years and have never had a complaint like this." Liss Reardon says she hopes the suit will force Clearway to stop advertising itself as providing standard medical care and says her client is brave for coming forward.
Unless there's some legal action, there's not going to be anything to stop these clinics from continuing their pattern of deception and misinformation.
No justice! No peace!
Another battlefront in the fight over reproductive care following the overturning of Roe v. Wade more than a year ago.
Ali Vitali is joining us now. And Ali, it is noted here that you are in New Hampshire, right? You're traveling with Nikki Haley. The access to reproductive rights, the abortion debate is playing on the campaign trail, probably more in the general than the primary, but tell me what you're seeing.
Yeah, look, this is certainly an issue where we're watching the collision of stories and lawsuits like this one with the politics and policy of people who are trying to lead, especially on the Republican side, where we're seeing an active primary take place. And I know that while the thinking is that Republicans have pushed for this for a long time, I've covered repro for about a decade now, and it really does feel in this moment that we're post-Roe that Republicans are in some ways the dogs that caught the car. And frankly, I don't hear uniformly from voters that they think that this is a good thing. Yes, I meet voters, evangelicals mostly, who are in this conservative voting bloc, who say that the Dobbs decision was what they wanted, but that's not all of them. Listen to one of the folks that I caught up with today at the Nikki Haley event. Do you think abortion works as an issue right now for Republicans?
No, because I think it's divisive from where the general populace is.
So, of course, that voter there is referencing polling that has been consistent over time, frankly, that shows that more than a majority of Americans, roughly 6 in 10 of them, want abortion to be legal in all or most cases. Certainly, we've seen this continue to play out in the post-Roe polling environment. And it's why we're watching Republicans, in some cases, dance around this issue, especially when reporters are asking them where they think the week mark should be. Is it 15? Is it 20? This voter in particular was talking to me about how he might be open to supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But one of the things that he's concerned about for DeSantis is the fact that he will be tagged with the baggage of doing what he did in Florida, which is passing and signing a 6-week abortion ban there. DeSantis has been notably quiet about if he would endorse a federal abortion ban and if it would be at the 6-week mark. But nevertheless, that's going to be one of the questions I think that's asked of him, rightly so, as he tries to parlay his agenda from the Sunshine State onto the national stage. But certainly this is not an issue that is going away. It's one that Democrats, as my conversations went in as we led up to the anniversary of the Dobbs decision, Democrats are seeking to leverage this. They see those polls in the same way that Republicans see them. And while Republicans might think they're problematic, and certainly you and I have talked to those folks and strategists, Democrats also see them as a huge opportunity, and we know why after seeing what they did for Democrats in the 2022 midterms.
Ali Vitali, live for us on the trail there in New Hampshire with our original tonight. Ali, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.